is a motorized aerator. Its job is to pump oxygen into the City of Parsons Wastewater Lagoon so that bacteria can break down waste before it's dumped into the Shavers Fork River.
We had a significant problem with BODs in our treatment plant.
3 of the city's 8 aerators work. White says the wastewater treatment facility is not in compliance with the State Department of Environmental Protection's water quality levels, meaning not enough waste is being dissolved in the lagoon.
The system we had in place was the floating aeration system, the movable parts that actually float on top of the lagoon. It's an antiquated system, old, maintenance nightmare.
We had 4 surface aerators, such as this one right here. None of the pontoon aerators were in use.
They had their place. They were placed in lagoons. They were a mechanical nightmare because they are a self-destructing piece of equipment.
It got to the point that we were getting several violations from the DEP, and we didn't have the money to keep repairing these.
The gearbox and motors are put under heavy stress due to the mixing of air and water together at the surface.
To work on them, we had to go out to them in a boat, disassemble the compressors from the mixers, send all of that equipment off to get maintained. It was very time consuming, it was very expensive, and it didn't work even when we did.
We looked at other sources, and that's where we found your company.
Together, we talked about what we wanted to do, and this is the current system with the Mars units. It's a system that we decided would benefit Parsons, and that is the system we're currently installing.
And we had Brady come down and do a presentation, and the council was sold the night that he presented it. This is what we wanted to do.
We first learned about the problems in the Parsons wastewater facility from our local representative. After a site visit and some engineering work, we determined that Parsons could benefit greatly from the implementation of our Mars aeration technology.
Triple Point Water is a company that has been born out of 40 years of wastewater treatment experience, and more specifically experience with lagoon-based wastewater treatment facilities that tend to be found in smaller communities like Parsons. And in every state that we have been to and spent time in, we have found similar problems that are occurring in these municipalities, similar to what we see at Parsons. Because of aging infrastructure, the fact that they do not have the funds in order to replace and repair and upkeep that infrastructure. So what we find is that our system is very much able to benefit them, not only in the terms of replacing their equipment, but also being able to increase efficiency so they can maintain the equipment and provide for the amount of money that they could bring in.
Our council was ready for change. When it was introduced to us, we was right on board. We saw all the potentials, all the savings and everything. We was just ready for it. We knew we needed it and we was ready for it.
Mars is diffused aeration technology, which uses a combination of large bubble, which comes from a static tube, which is an effective mixing, and it uses also fine bubble, which is efficient for oxygen transfer.
The Mars unit utilizes fine bubble technology, which is simply very small air bubbles. A lot of aerators use coarse bubble, where the bubbles are larger. The coarse bubble aerator is good for mixing because it stirs the water up. You get a lot of movement. The fine bubble, though, is much more efficient for oxygen transfer. Now, the Mars unit uses both fine bubble and coarse bubble.
High-speed surface aerator does about 2 pounds of oxygen per horsepower. The low speed does about 3 pounds of oxygen per horsepower. A good diffused aeration system will do 7 to 8 pounds of oxygen per hour. That's an enormous jump in efficiency.
What's nice about the Mars is that it can be implemented into an existing facility without having to drain the pond, without having to do substantial work on the pond. It can be deployed simply from the surface, dropped in and up and running in aeration into the pond as soon as possible.
The market goes where you get the best treatment at the least cost, and certainly membrane is the way to go, because you get much higher efficiency, better mixing, and overall treatment.
Also, with the existing aeration system, they had 50 horsepower worth of motors, and we've gotten that down to 20 horsepower for the Mars unit. It'll roughly translate into about half of the power usage.
The Mars aeration system is a good fit for the Parsons project because we are eliminating less efficient surface aeration and installing the new Mars technology, which will help maintain the system into the future, less cost for maintenance, less cost for repair, and all around better, more efficient product.
Based on savings on energy and maintenance cost. It's going to save the city hundreds of thousands of dollars over the expectancy of this system.
We're happy to be able to come down and help Parsons with their wastewater system. This is what we do.
Well, with Triple Point, we was amazed at how they worked with us and called back and answered the questions that the council even wanted.
The best part about working with customers like the City of Parsons is having the ability to genuinely solve difficult problems while at the same time producing meaningful results. We were able to not only bring the facility back into compliance with an updated aeration system, we are also able to save the customer many thousands of dollars annually on maintenance and energy costs.
Brady made the purchasing experience enjoyable, easy. I mean, he done all the work. With calling, he'd get right back to you. He would give us status reports every week after we purchased the system, telling us how everything was going. It's just, we've enjoyed every minute of it.